It is officially startup season in the Dynasty world, and today we're going to give you the 5 best ADPs on Sleeper right now to draft in your drafts. We think these are must-draft players at their current ADPs. So, Dak, who's our first player?
Yeah, just to preface a little bit, obviously Sleeper is the number one app to use for Dynasty football, and a lot of your league mates might not be doing their own rankings or watching other channels coming up with rankings. They're just going off the Sleeper ADP. So this is why it's important to understand the Sleeper ADP and take advantage of it.
Mhm.
So going forward, the first guy that we have on our list is Kyler Murray. Right now, his Sleeper ADP is 24 overall. We think that's just too low for this guy who's coming off his torn ACL last year. He looked decently healthy, and he started to
Mhm.
produce like the old Kyler Murray we know and love. And we think this year is just going to be even more of that production that we've seen in the
Mhm.
past from him. Right now, he's below guys like Tyreek Hill, Justin Herbert. We think, plain and simple, Kyler Murray, he needs to be drafted before those guys. So, again, if you're looking at the ADP and you see Kyler below him, just know maybe you can wait because your league mates are just going strictly off that ADP. You can wait a pick or two later than you should be for Kyler Murray, and you just take advantage of that.
Especially because we like to build our dynasty teams around starting off with QBs in the early rounds.
Yeah.
He's ADP is 24. That means if you have the first overall pick and you also have the 24th overall pick, you can go like Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. That's an insane start.
Yeah.
You should not be able to do that. Point blank simple. Our second player is going to be Nico Collins. Nico Collins is going 48th overall. Nico Collins is a player we really like. He's pretty young, 25 years old, just signed a mega deal to stay with CJ Stroud for the coming years. We think he's the wide receiver one in that offense. We don't think Diggs is going to outclass him this year. Tank Dell's a good player. We don't think he's going to stay healthy forever. We think Nico Collins is just going to be the best player on the field at all times, par CJ Stroud. Right now, Nico Collins is behind players like Michael Pittman and Devontae Smith. We think Nico Collins has a higher ceiling than both of those guys and probably a higher floor. He's just got an absolutely monstrous year ahead of him, and we just like him better than both those receivers, point blank, period. Dak, anything else to say about?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Definitely agree on Nico Collins for sure. Next guy on our list is Drake Maye. He has a sleeper ADP of 59 overall. He was drafted top 3 overall in the NFL draft by the Patriots, and usually you don't see top 3 drafted quarterbacks sitting towards the end of the 5th round in a super flex league. It just shows, again, how underpriced he is right now and how you can take advantage of that. Just because he went to a bad landing spot, he's being discounted so much. He's behind guys like Isaiah Pacheco and Zay Flowers. The community as a whole is really high on these players, but they just don't provide the upside that Drake May does in a super flex league. He was drafted top 3 overall. He's got so much talent, more talent than these guys, and you can get him after these guys according to the ADP. I'm signing up for that every day of the week, especially if you're in a 12-team league where these quarterbacks matter. You can get a young quarterback for relatively cheap compared to if he blows up after his first or second year, he's going to be towards like where Kyler Murray is being taken in the first 2 rounds of
Mm-hmm.
Superflex startup drafts. So getting him right here is just insane value.
Yeah, there's so much potential with Drake May that he could be a first round starter pick next year. We could genuinely say it. Think CJ Stroud. Definitely in his realm of possibilities. He also lines up for a really great start to the draft. Think you start off with Jalen Hurts, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Rome Odunze, and then you go ahead and take Drake May in the 5th. That's an absolutely fantastic start to the draft. I don't think it can get much better than that. Starting off with 2 young, nice quarterbacks and 3 young, amazing wide receivers doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
Going off to our 4th player now, we're going to have T. Higgins. He's only a couple spots behind Drake May, but he's just too low for us, right? He's 63rd overall right now in ADP. He's behind players like Tank Dell, James Cook. Like, T. Higgins is just better than both those guys. He's still very young. He can be on a new team just as soon as next year, and he's probably going to be the alpha wherever he goes. Or if he stays in the Bengals, I'm okay with that too. They have a great quarterback with Joe Burrow who's going to continue to supply T. Higgins. Like, we just like T. Higgins a lot. He's better than Zay Flowers. It's a no-brainer for me. Any comments on that?
Yeah, once again, completely agree with everything you said there. Last guy on our list, we're going to have Ricky Pearsall, rookie wide receiver, drafted to the San Francisco 49ers. He's got an ADP of 105 behind guys like Christian Kirk and Tony Pollard. I don't know about you. I'm not really excited for Tony Pollard at all this season or going forward ever again. Christian Kirk, he's all right. But Ricky Pearsall was drafted in the first round by the 49ers, which shows that they really believe in him to succeed for multiple years to come. They have contract issues with Brandon Ayuk. Debo Samuel is getting up there in age, and he's also expensive, especially for a team that's looking to pay Brock Purdy in the not too distant future. They need young, cheap talent like Ricky Pearsall to fill in for those older price veterans. So we think that Ricky Pearsall maybe not this year, but definitely year two moving on, he will eventually come into that offense and he's going to play a big role and he's going to put a lot of production.
Mhm.
And you could get him towards the end, middle of the 10th round. Like, that's just great value, in my opinion, for a guy who's going to be the number one, number two option on a San Francisco Kyle Shanahan led
Mhm.
offense. Really exciting.
Yeah, I think another, once again, going back to the main point is upside here.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall has the upside to be worth 2 firsts in 2 years, right? Versus Christian Kirk. Are we that excited about Christian Kirk? Like, he's fine. He's going to score decent points this year, but he's nothing special. And Tony Pollard, are you serious right now? Tony Pollard? He's not good. And if Tony Pollard scores what, like 14 points a game this year, you consider like, oh, that was a good season for Tony Pollard, and then dump him off next year. Like, Ricky Pearsall is going to have the chance to actually multiply his value, whereas Tony Pollard at best is going to give you one good season of being a running back too.
Yeah.
There's levels to this. Ricky Pearsall is just the better pick.
We're swinging for upside with all these picks over just the base value that we're getting from like a Tony Pollard, who's never going to increase his value anymore.
Mhm.
We want those swings for upside and increasing your value.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.